What do you think really happens when you miss the gym for a month? Right? It's not weight gain. It's not motivational loss. It's not a discipline collapse. It's deeper than that, but nobody talks about it. Okay? A month away doesn't ruin you; it reveals you. I'm talking to you about this right now because, as you all know, I've had pneumonia for the last month or so. I've been out of the gym, some out of work, but mostly out of the gym. So I want to talk about the gym aspect of this for me. Okay. I took some notes, so I got some things to share with you here. There's a physical side to it. There's a mental side to it. There's an emotional side to it also. And then you think about what it's going to be. So there's like a kind of a fear of a return, and then there's a reality, right? So let's just walk those down. Let's start with the physical because most people relate to the gym and the physical component of it like the fastest, like the most, you know what I'm saying? That's the most available one, right? So not only your strength drops, that's for sure. I mean, depending on what you was in the gym to work out for, whether it was for strength and conditioning, maybe it was for agility, but you definitely lose that step. Your mobility tightens up. You're just not able to. You're not able to move as intentionally as you want to. You're dealing with your core issues also. Bloating and inflammation feels insane, right? But that's just from eating and having to take the medication. They give you these antibiotics. You gotta eat to take that medicine. You can't just take the medicine and not eat. So your body is not used to dealing with that, right? So it's not so much about being out of shape. It's more so about being out of rhythm. You know what I mean? And your body remembers that. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So it's about putting it into context a little bit. The mental shift. Now this part is a little harder to talk about because you're ready to do a thing in your mind. In your mind, you're ready to do a thing. You know, routine. Like it took, like you put in work, we put in discipline. I put in work going to the gym 2-3 times a week. I've been ripped away from that space psychologically, and movement stops being automatic, and you start renegotiating with yourself. Like, do I want to go back? Like me personally, I can't wait to get back. Your confidence begin to phase a little bit, if you can understand that. Not confidence in your ability to necessarily go back to the gym, but you're not as eager, I guess I want to say. You ask yourself a question like, is a movement something I had convinced myself to do? The gym trains your body, but it also anchors your mind into a thing. You know what I mean? You become a creature of habit, and missing those things, that environment it matters to you. You realize how much it matters to you. When you're not there. At least listen. I can only speak for what I've been through. At least that's what I'm saying to you. You know what I mean? I'm sharing the things that I believe I'm going through right now as it pertains to this month that I've been out of the gym. And then for me, there's the emotional piece, right? I feel frustrated, but there's nobody to blame. I had pneumonia. There's nobody to blame. It's not like I just been out for a month because, I just stopped going and I feel guilty. That's not the case. I know I did the right thing medically. So that kind of counterbalances the frustration. I don't like how my body feels. I just don't. Okay? Missing the optimal version of myself is a thing. And if people know anything, people really underestimate how body dysmorphia really affects people who are in the gym. We are our own worst critics, and we really beat ourselves up unnecessarily in a bunch of different ways. So this is not about shame or dramatics. I'm just on here being honest. That's all. And you got to respect the pause, right? You got to respect the pause, but I still miss the progress, if that makes sense. You know? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it does to me, all right? The fear of going back, right? And I think this is really where ego can cause injury, right? Get in there, you try to pick up, ego lift, you try to pick up where you left off at. That was a month ago. You put, at a minimum, in my case, 12, 11 months into getting somewhere. Benching whatever you benching, you're gonna be gone for a month and go back to it. That's your choice. I don't think it's a smart choice, but you can do whatever you like. Wondering how much you lost, like how far you fell off. You know what I mean? That's the thing, but you won't know. You won't know until you get there, right? Resisting the urge to rush back to where you left off at. Right? I'm going to get in there. I'm going to assess where I am and pretty much take it from there, right? So for me, the first week back is about rebuilding strength. It's about rebuilding my mechanism, making sure that I'm focused on my repetitions, making sure I'm getting good expansion and contraction, if that makes sense, right? So in my, the comeback really starts before the first rep. I'm just really concentrating on movement, and eventually, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to see growth anyway, or development anyway. It won't take 4 to 6 weeks. Muscle memory is real. But I'm not going to beat myself up for however long it takes me to get back to wherever I left off at, right? So my absence doesn't erase my progress. So this is about how real it is when you go back. There's one thing I got to be clear about, right? My absence doesn't erase progress. This pause really tests my identity to see if this is something I'm really wanting to do, right? I'm learning that consistency is more fragile than effort, okay? You can put in all the effort, but you want consistency. That's where the real money is, all right? Even if somebody is doing the thing wrong, if they do it wrong consistently in the gym, we all know you'll still see progress. You're not seeing as much as you should, but you will still see some progress. We all know that. I'm going to approach this with a ton of humility because it beats forcing momentum, okay? Back to the ego lifting thing, right? So it's not about the gym. It never really is. This is about returning to what I've built or what I was building. I want to get back to that space. So, this month away didn't break me. I'm just coming back, if I'm being honest, right? If you've been away for the gym for whatever reason, it just so happened that I had, I caught a horrible case of pneumonia and I was down bad. The pneumonia is out of my system, but my lungs are still recovering. So I'm not at 100% capacity. It'll probably be another week or two before I actually go back, right? So I'm looking forward to getting back into the discipline of it all, if that makes sense, right? Getting back into my routine of going to the gym. You've been in the gym. It feels the way when you get there. You feel motivated. You want to see some familiar faces because there's some kind of camaraderie there, if you will. So I'm looking forward to all of those things, really. I just want to get on here and talk about, as you can see now, even now, you see my wind is getting a little short because, as you can see now, my wind is getting a little short because I'm still recovering from having pneumonia. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I wanted to share with y'all. And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. People are returning back to the gym for a good number of reasons, and I'm just sharing mine with y'all today. All right? If you find this content helpful, like everybody else, please like, share, subscribe. All right? Respectfully.